redefine because this did not work out as expected for us. So delete. Come to the constructor, delete the initialization, delete the field. So there is no city now. Character, we'll see how to define. We'll see how to define a city. Yeah, how to define it, I'll tell you. Yeah, now first you understood how to define enum now? Yes or not? And now, if I ask you a question, what is cities? What is cities? You can tell me what is cities? Type. Perfect. Cities is a type. Array. So every class is a type. Every structure is a type. Every enum is a type. So what is a string? We say type. We don't say string is a class. Yes or not? What is cities? It's a type. It is a new type. You have defined type. Got the point or not? Now, you remember how do you consume a type? Types cannot be consumed directly. If you want to consume a type, first you require to create a copy of the type. Int is a type. How do you consume? Is how you consume. String is a type. How do you consume? Now cities is a type. How do you consume? Are you clear? All type consumption is same. Now, what the difference? Int and string are predefined types. Cities is user defined type. Now, I want to assign a value to customer ID. I want to assign a value to customer ID. What can I assign? You can assign any value within the range of 4 bytes. Means minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1. You cannot exceed. Are you getting me or not? So you can assign any value from that particular list. I'm assigning a value 101. What you can assign to name? I can assign a string to it. Any size limitation? Yeah, strings are variable length, but the maximum capacity is 2 million characters. The maximum capacity is 2 million characters. Means there is a limitation for this. Same way, I want to assign a value per city. You can assign. What you can assign? You can assign any value from this list only. Are you clearer or not? You can assign any value from this list only. So can't I assign any value out of the list? No. How to assign? One way, you can assign like this, is equals to 0. Means Bengaluru. Second option. You can assign like this also. Are you clearer or not? You can assign in any of these particular ways. You can say cities equals to 0 or cities underscore cities equals to cities dot Bengaluru. Both are correct. Okay now? Now, look at this, guys. I want to define a property on customer ID. I want to define a property on customer ID. How do you define? Public int customer ID get return underscore customer ID set underscore customer ID is equals to perfect. Same way, I want to define a property on name. Come on, tell me fast. Louder. Public string name. Get. Open the mouths here. Louder. Return underscore name set underscore name is equals to value. Now I want to define a property on city. Public cities. The type is cities now, not a string. Okay. City. Get return underscore city. Set. Now see here, value is integer type, right? Here value is string type. Here value is cities type. Did you understand me? Come on, let's implement it now. Come to your project. Guys, int, bool, string, double. All these are predefined types. So you directly convert. But cities is not a predefined type. So what is the first step? The first step is we need to define the type now. The first step is we need to define the type. Where should we define? As all other types, every type is defined inside a namespace, inside a. So let me add a new file here. I'm adding a code file, guys, because I don't have a enum template. Class template is there, interface template is there. Recollect, structure template is not there. We manually done it. Same way, enum template is also not there. So we manually do it. So go for a code file. What is the name? Cities. Namespace. What's the namespace? Oops, project, public, enum, cities. Now start declaring all the values here. Bengaluru, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Mumbai. Just I put them in alphabetical sequence. That's all. Okay. So now tell me the type is ready. Array, the type is ready or not? Come on, come to your customer class now. Just like int, bool, string, double, there is a new type called as cities. Same process is cities underscore city. You understood now? They're all predefined types, but this is you're the defined type. Second step, initialize. Underscore city is equals to, I want to send value Bengaluru, 0. 0 indicates Bengaluru now. Come on, next. Public cities, city. Get return underscore city. Set underscore city is equals to value. But we forgot one thing. What is it? In every set, there should be a status condition. Correct? If underscore status, done. So is it a read write property or not? Read and write property, but enumerated. Enumerated means a property with a list of values to choose from. It will give you a list of values. We can pick a value from the list now. Are you clear? A property with a list of values to choose from. Yeah, now come here, guys. Have a look. The initial value is 0. 0 means Bangalore. I want to change it. When you want to change it, guys, watch it. When you are assigning a value to console color, when you assign a value to console color, when you say is equals to, it highlighted you console color in the list. Remember, na? Same way, see? Cities is highlighted in the list now. Cities dot. You got your list. See there. Bengaluru 0, Chennai 1, Delhi 2, Hyderabad 3, Kolkata 4, Mumbai 5. I want to assign Hyderabad. Now there is no chance of making a mistake now. Why? All the values are listed. We are selecting a value from the list now. Correct? Can I assign Bengaluru, Hyderabad means 3, na? Can I assign 3 is equals to 3? See, when I assign 3, I'm getting an error. But here when I assign 0, I did not get any error. But when I'm assigning 3, I'm getting an error. It's a small problem with enums, guys. 0 is accepted, but 1, 2, 3, 4 remaining values cannot be assigned directly. If you want to assign them, you should assign it by typecasting. Cities of 3. Direct assignment is possible only for 0. But remaining all the values, typecasting has to be done. Cities of, and you just require to do it. Or I don't recommend this. The best option is always dot. It makes the things descriptive. Are you clear? Can I assign a value Pune? Is it accepted? Not accepted. Error. Earlier, see, when we assigned Pune, we did not get any error, but not accepted. See now, error. What is the error? Invalid type conversion. Cities which type? Cities type. But this is which type? String type. How can you convert a string to cities now? Are you clear? So it doesn't accept you anything that is out of the box. So what you can select is only from the list of values that are available. So did you understand about the beauty of the property now? So what is the extra step here? The extra step here is we need to define the enum here. So till now, for the remaining properties, we did not define them. Ready-made data types are there, string, full, double and all. But here, the data type is not there. That's why we defined a type first. And then that is the extra step. Remaining all are same only. This is the extra step. So where should I define a enum? Under a namespace. Just like every type is defined inside of a namespace. Did you catch my point or not? Every type is defined inside of a namespace. Just like all other types, every type is defined under a namespace basically. So we are following the same principle here also. But I want to tell you a small thing. What is it, Enum type can be defined inside of a class or structure also. I repeat, enum type can be defined inside of a class or structure also. So how is it possible? Class is a type, enum is a type. Yes, nested type. It is a nested type, a type inside a type. Possibility is there. But still, I don't recommend. Option is there, I'm telling you. But still, my suggestion is always directly define it inside of a namespace. Is my point clear or not? Directly define inside of a namespace. Never define it inside of a class. Don't go for nested. Always the best option is namespace. Is my point clear, everyone? Understood about this? Okay. This is how you define a enumerated property. Yeah, with this, we are done with 5 properties now. Right? What are 5? ID, status, name, balance. And these 5 are 5 types, not the same type. Next property. I want to define a property called as state. I want to define a property called as state. State is a property what I want to define. Okay, let's define. State means which type? String type. Okay. Underscore state. Second step, initialize. Underscore state is equals to Karnataka. I want a simple read-write property. I want a simple read-write property. Help me fast. No energy, you're lazy. Active. Get return underscore state. Next, set. Condition we will write again. How many times I should remind you again and again? If underscore status underscore state equal to, it's a simple read-write property. It is as same as a name property we defined on the top, nothing different. Okay. Now let me come here. Console.writeLine customer state obj.state. Yeah, it's Karnataka. I want to change it now. obj.state is equals to Telangana. Modified state. Are you clear? Well, like this, we are trying to assign a value. Yeah, value is assigned, modified, everything is working fine. Now, look at this. What is that? Right now, your property is a public property. And because it's public, anyone can get or anyone can set a value to it. Correct? Your property is a public property. So anyone can get or anyone can set a value to it. If I declare the property as internal, Getting or setting is possible only within the project. If I declare it as a protected, getting or setting is possible only from child classes. Array, I explained you all the 6 scopes to you. Okay. But see guys, when you say public, that applies both to get and set also. Correct? Now, my requirement is a little bit different. I want to give a get access to anyone. I want to give get access to everyone, but I want to give set access only to child classes. Did you understand me or not? I want to get access to everyone, but I want to give set access only to my child classes. For example, you see something like this. If at all you just try to understand about it, you visit the IRCTC website. Who can check for the availability of a ticket? Anyone can check. But who can book a ticket? Registered users only can book a ticket. Am I correct? Everyone can check the status, but booking can be done only by here also. Get should be accessible to everyone, but set should be accessible only to child class. But initially, when properties are introduced for us, when I say public, it applies both to get and set. But from C# 2.0 onwards, they introduced a feature for us. What is the feature? We can now use the modifiers on the accessors also. We can use the modifiers on the accessors also. Means now I can declare it like this. Now you see, get is public, but set is protected. You understood? Get is accessible from anywhere, but set is accessible only from. And go and see in the test customer, there is an error ready. Earlier obj.state is equals to Telangana worked, but now it is not working now. Yes or not? It's not working. Why is it not working? Cannot be assigned with a value because current class is not a child of. The current class is not a child of customer now. Are you clear? Okay, that's what. So now obj.state is invalid operation. So this is another property what I defined. So what is this? This is also read and write property with a different scope to each accessor. Are you clearer or not? It has a different scope to each accessor. Get has a different scope, set has a different scope. And actually, guys, this concept was introduced in C# 2.0. This concept was introduced in C# 2.0. Introduced in C# 2.0. Are you clearer? Earlier, what is the problem? If it's a public, it applies both to get and set also. If it's a protected, it applies both to get and set also. But now it is not like this. Get has a different scope, set has a different scope. Is it clear, guys? Next. So with this 6 properties are there. Next. If you want to define a property, what are we doing? We're declaring a field first. Second step, in the constructor, we are initializing the field. Right? Third step, we are defining the property. We have the 3 steps. First step, declare a field. Second step, initialize the field. Third step, define the property. These are the 3 steps what you are following. I want to define a new property called as country. I want to define a new property called as country. If you want to define, what is the first thing you require to do? You require to declare a country variable, your field first. Second, initialize country here. Third, define the property. Now, listen to my question carefully. Can't I define a property without declaring a field? Did you get my question? Can't I define a property without a field? The answer will be no. Why? Because inside of the property, you are referring to the fields and only writing the code now. See, suppose if I say public string country, you did not declare a field. Actually, what is the actual code? Get return underscore country. Set underscore country is equals to, but countries underscore country is not declared now. Means declaration of the field is mandatory or not? If the field is not declared, then the confusion starts. What will you write now? Yes or not? We can write, guys, what get set. These are called as automatic or auto implemented properties. This is also read write property, guys, but automatic or auto implemented property. Introduced in C# 3.2. Introduced in C# 3.2. So there is no necessity of declaring a field. There is no necessity of declaring a field. The field is implicitly declared. The field is, what is the name of it, sir? None of your business. It's none of your business. Then then how can I use it? What is the need of using a field? Use the property only now. Array, why to use underscore country? Use country only. Did you get my point or not? Now I have a doubt. Sir, what about initialization? Simple, yaar. Come to initialization. In the initialization, we assign value to field. Now field is not there. What do you have? Property. Correct? Huh? Directly assign value to property only, man. Country is equals to. There is a field. There is a field, but we don't know the name of the field. That is implicitly declared. Did you understand me or not? There is a field now also, but what is the field name? I don't know. That is implicitly declared. So simply, I can assign country is equals to India. And you see now, guys, it's working or not? Check it out. Customer country dot country. Run and see. Working? Yeah, it is just working. Okay. So when this feature was introduced, C# 3.2. But in 3.0, when this feature was introduced, we have a small, just a minute, I'll tell you. But before that, when should I use this? When should I use this automatic or auto implemented properties? I can use automatic or auto implemented properties only if your get and set accessors that doesn't have any extra logic in it. We can use them only when we don't have any extra logic in it. For example, can I use this automatic property for state? No, you cannot. Why? There is a condition here. Can I use it? No. Can I use it in case of city? No. Can I use it in case of balance? Come on, fast. No. Can I use it in case of name? No, you can't. Can I use it in case of status? Yes, yeah. No, you're telling me. Look at the code and answer. Yes. Why? No extra logic is present here. See, we don't have any extra logic here, but remaining all we have some extra logic conditions are there, but here there are no conditions. So we don't have any extra logic here. Can I use automatic property here? Yes. Can I use it in case of customer ID? Yes or not? Yes. But in C# 3.0, when automatic properties are introduced, there is a problem. What is the problem? Compulsory, you're required to write both get and set also. Are you getting me or not? Compulsory, you're required to write both get and set also. Mandatory, sir? Yes, it is mandatory to write both get also, set also. Did you catch my point or not? Get and set both are going to be mandatory. You cannot escape from this. Compulsory, you're required to write both get also and set also. You cannot escape from this. Point clear? Yes or not? Okay. Why, sir? Because if set is not there, think wise. If set is not there, this initialization won't be possible in the constructor now. You're setting a value, set is not there, this is not be possible. So that's way, if at all you want to define an automatic property, it is mandatory to write both get also, set also. So the problem is, I want to define read only. I want to define read only. Means without a set, we cannot define now. Did you catch my point or not? See, come back here, here. I want read only. So if you want read only, compulsory, I need to write both get and set. I cannot remove the set now. Because automatic property require both get and set also. But I want read only. If you want read only, now use the previous feature. What is that? Now see, out of the class is read only now. Yes or not? Within the class it is read right. Out of the class, read only. Because set is private, not accessible out of the class. Are you guys clearer? Yes or not? When can I use automatic properties? Only if the property accessor doesn't have any extra logic, then only automatic properties can be used. If there is any extra logic, automatic properties cannot be used in the context. Is my point clear, all of you? Yes or not? Okay, so that's all about automatic properties. But what is the problem? Compulsory, we require to write both get also, set also. And to resolve this problem in C# 6.0, in C# 6.0, they added another feature. What is that? Watch again. Public string continent. One more property I'm writing, continent. But what I want to write is only getter. But what I said to you, automatic property means get and set are mandatory. Why is it? If set is not there, initializing in the constructor will not be possible. And to overcome this problem, they introduced a new feature called as auto property initializer. Auto property initializer. What is that? Declaration time only you can initialize it. Declaration time only you can initialize. So no need to go to constructor now. Did you catch the point? No need to go to constructor. Declaration time only, initialization. And it's read only, guys. Then no stutter. Are you clearer or not? So this is a what type of property? Read only property. Okay. What is the concept here? Auto property initializer, introduced in C# 6.0. Auto property initializer, introduced in C# 6.0. Are you clear? This is purely read only, guys. We cannot modify the value. Dot continent. So guys, totally 8 properties are defined. I just shown you all the mechanisms how properties can be written on the code. I mean, in how many varieties a property can be defined. I shown all examples to you. Are you getting me or not? In how many varieties properties can be defined, I shown you all the examples to you. First one, read only property. Second one, read write property. Third one, read write property with condition in set accessor. Fourth one, read write property with condition in get and. We done all these things yesterday only. Today what we done? Read write. Enumerated. Enumerated means a property with a list of values to choose from. It will show you the list. Pick one value from the list. Third, fifth one. Sorry, 6. Read write property with a different scope to each accessor. Get has a different scope. Set has a different scope. Next, read write property. Automatic or auto implemented. Last one, read only property. What is this? Auto property initializer. Understood about the properties? So now going forward, what do you feel now? Fields are public fields are private fields associated with properties are. What is correct? Defining public fields in the code are declaring private fields with properties are. Private fields with properties. What I said you? It is against the standards of the industry to declare fields of a class as public. Every field of a class should always be private only. Should be private only. What to do? Properties. We need to define the properties. Another area where properties are used. Listen, one area where we use property to expose the values is what I introduced you in the last week. Properties are mainly to expose the values. To expose the values, one option is public fields. Unfortunately, problem is we don't have any control on the value. Second option, private fields and associated properties. Do we have a control on the value? Yes, we have a control on each and every value. We can give read-only access, write-only access, read-write access with conditions. All the things I shown you. Okay. Another area where properties are useful for us is one area where we use properties. In another area, one day we learned about constructor overloading. Remember? In this example, you remember there are two fields here. I want to initialize them in a mix and match combination. If you want to initialize in a mix match combination, we defined 4 constructors in the code. Array, first one, default. Second one, initializing only I. Third one, initializing B. Fourth one, initializing I and B. And on that day, we done a mathematical calculation. If tomorrow, if 3 fields are there, the number of combinations we get are 8. The number of constructors we should define are 8 constructors. If 4 fields are there, 16 constructors. If 5 fields are there, 32 constructors. And the simple math we done that is 2 power n. N is the number of fields. Not constructor. N is the number of fields. 2 power n. How many fields we have now? 2. 2 square, 4 constructors. 3 fields are there, 8 constructors. 4 fields are there, 16 constructors. 5 fields are there, 32 constructors. Remember that one or not? But on that day we discussed like, this is a headache. Tomorrow if I have 6 fields in my code now, 64 constructors has to be defined. Are you ready? Are you ready to write 64 constructors in the code? Is it easy? No. We can't write that many number of constructors. Tomorrow, if another field comes, another 64 constructors should be added now. Yes or not? That's a big headache now. We can simplify that also. We can simplify that also by using properties. Did you catch my point or not? We can simplify that also by defining properties. Just watch this example, guys. Let me add a class here, naming the class as test student. Here, I'll write another class also, student. Now here, let me declare the attributes of a student. Attributes of a student. What is it? Int ID. I want to make it nullable. I want to make it nullable. ID and class. Okay, now next. Float marks piece. String name. 5 fields. I want to initialize these fields in a mix and match combination. I want to initialize these fields in a mix and match combination. How many fields are there? So number of constructors to define? 32. Writing 32 constructors is a big painful job now. Yes or not? Okay. Writing 32 constructors is a painful job. Can you define 5 properties? Easy? Writing 5 properties is easy or not? Yeah, that is easy. So can we make the properties now? If you want properties, what is the first thing? We need to use underscore. Come on, guys. Let us not define 32 constructors. Let us make it simple, defining 5 properties. Help me, please. Public int ID. Okay, now? Next. public int class get return underscore class. Okay. Not declare underscore. Huh? Oh, no. Question mark we messed up. Okay. Next. Public string name get return underscore name. Okay, na public float marks. Next. Then I defined all the 5 properties now. This is easy, na? Rather than declaring 32 constructor defining 5 properties easy, right? Okay. Now your class is ready. You defined 5 properties in the class. Defining properties, you already familiar. Yesterday, today we talked about it. Nothing new. Okay, na? So totally 5 fields in the code. Now come here. Static void main. Can I create the instance of the student class here? Yes. It's a public class. You can create wherever you want. Okay. Student S1 is equals to new student. Which constructor are you using, guys? Default constructor. Hey, how much time you want to answer? Yeah, be active. I'm telling you, lazy. Which constructor? And default constructor will initialize all the fields with the default values now. What are the default values? All are null. Question marks, all are null. Yes or not? I want to print those values on the monitor. I want to print the values on the monitor. What values? Default values. And remember, if you try to print the instance of any class, if you try to print the instance of any class, it will not print the values. What it prints is only the name of the class, right? What it prints? Class name. But if you want to see the values, what did I say? Override the toString method in the class. Override the toString method. Public override which method? toString. And here write down what output you want to see now. I don't want to see class name. I want to see the values. Okay, come on, let's write the code. How I want to see ID. Here, underscore ID. Slash n. What next? Name. Underscore name. Slash n. Class. Underscore class. Slash n. Marks. Underscore marks. Slash n. Piece. Underscore piece. Now it is not the class name, but what you see is the value. See all our default values now. What I want to show is that only. Array all are initialized with the default values. Why, sir? Because the constructor what we used is a default constructor. Yes or not? Okay. So fine. If you observe it, right now all are default values. All are default values now. Yes or not? So basically, if you just observe this one, when you have all default values here, because we use the default constructor, but I want to initialize them. If you want to initialize, you need a parameterized constructor now. But problem is, I want to initialize in a mix match combination. So number of constructors to define. If one constructor means I'll define it, yeah, not a problem. But problem is I want to initialize in a mix and match combination. So the number of constructors I need to define are 32 constructors. Not easy. Yes or not? See the beauty now. In C# 3.0, they added as a feature. What is the feature, you know? Even there is no constructor in your class. Even there is no constructor in your class. But you have properties defined in the class. You can initialize the attributes by using curly braces here. And here you can get access to all the properties now. Did you notice it? Now see, ID is equals to 101, comma, name is equals to some name. Okay, comma, class is equals to 10. Marks is equals to fees is equals to, I can initialize it like this. See guys, no constructor in the class now, but still I'm able to initialize. How is it possible? Because of the properties you defined in the class. Is a new feature that was added in C# 3.0 called as object initializers. What is it called? Object initializers. Sir, no need of defining constructors in the code. Going forward, no. Going forward, no. You want to write, means you want a constructor only for initialization. No need a constructor then. I want to write some logic, then define. But I want a constructor only for initialization. No need. We can use object initializers. We can use object initializers. Are you clear? Sir, what about the 32 combinations now? Watch. You're talking about the 32 combinations now? Look, guys. This is my second instance. Yes, 2. 102. Suresh. I want to initialize only 3 attributes. I want to initialize only 3 attributes. Okay. My next instance. See, total 4 instances I created here. 3, 4. In 3, I want to initialize only I want to initialize a name. I want to initialize marks. This is only no requirement. Mixed match combination now. Yes or not? Okay. So wherever you did not initialize, they should have the default values now. Check. First one you initialized all the 4, right? Sorry, all the 5. Check it out. Second, you initialized only ID, name, class. Marks and fees, default values. Next, ID, marks and fees, name and class, default values. ID, name, marks. Class and fees are default. I can create 32 instances like this in the 32 combinations now, without defining even a single constructor in the code. Now tell me, writing 32 constructors is easier, or defining 5 properties and using object initializers is easier? On the day when we calculated also, I said one point. Array, I will simplify this going forward. First, as of now, remember the math. What is the math? 2 power n. N is the number of attributes. 10 attributes, 2 power 10 constructors should be defined compulsory if you want to initialize in a mixed match combination. But going forward, they made the things simple. What they said is, okay, write properties and use a new concept called as object initializer. This will allow you to initialize the attributes of your class in a declarative manner. At the time of creating an instance, use curly braces and you can start initializing that. Did you catch my point or not? Okay, this is completely a new feature that came into the market in C# 3.0 called as object initializer. Hope you guys are clear. Yes or not? This is the second advantage of properties. But remember one point. If you want object initializers to work in your code, the class must contain a default constructor in it. Is it mandatory? Yes. Why? Object initializers will use default constructor only. Which constructor? So default constructor is mandatory in your code now. Are you getting my point? And see now, we did not define any constructor in the class. If you did not define any constructor in the class, then what we have is default constructor only then. Right? But suppose if you define one parameterized constructor, public student int question mark ID underscore ID is equals to ID. Now see, you defined a parameterized constructor or not. So we don't have a default constructor now. So all these are errors. Error. Are you getting me? How to resolve it? Either define a default constructor in the code, either define a default constructor, see problem solved, or don't define any constructor. Don't define any constructor, then we have a default constructor then. Am I clear? Understood? So this is a new feature that has been got into picture in the Vijaya. In which version? C# 3.0. What we call? Object initializers. We call them as object initializers. Have a look, guys. Yeah, it's all about properties. How to define a property, getting, setting, three types. Read only, write only, read, write, syntax to define a property. The key points in defining a property, I explained all these particular things. You read it, remarks. When you're writing the properties, what rules and standards to be followed. And now is your example. The first one, I defined an enum called cities, class called customer with all the 8 properties what I explained you. Totally 8 properties. All 8. Then here I given you information about what is a enumerated property. Another example I given. In the code I given one example, another example. See that is listed you 65 days. And here I declared a property public days day. Understood? And when declaring, see, I said you can declare it like days underscore day is equals to 0, or days underscore day is equals to days dot Monday, or, and I said you, for 0 this is not required, for 0 directly assignment. Apart from 0, remaining all values should be assigned like that one. But I always recommend you this option. Why? Descriptive. After 10 days, you look at the code, what is 0? Why to worry? Days dot Monday is clear. So that should make it descriptive, using names than the numbers. Now, this is a second example of a enumerated property. So 2 examples are given in the code. Then here, about auto implemented properties and also auto property initializer. This is what I said. Your public string country get is equals to. See there? Directly on the same line, we can initialize it now. Okay. And the second class, test customer, where we consumed all. For everything, I've written a comment, guys. Understand? where it is valid, where it is invalid, everything I put a comment for you to understand why the mistake. Your transaction fails, your transaction succeeds. Why is it invalid? Everything I given written a clear comment to you to make the things understandable. Are you clear? And after this, object initializers is all about the object initializers. What I explained to you. I define a class called student, 5 fields, 5 properties, 2 string. And what are doing? In the 2 string, we're just trying to return the appropriate values. And the next class is test student. The next class is going to be test student there. Okay. So in the test student, we created 5 different instances and 5 combinations now and printed up all the values on the monitor. Am I clear? Understood the use of the properties? We use properties in 2 scenarios. One scenario to expose the values. Second scenario to initialize the attributes without defining overloaded constructors. Without defining overloaded constructors. What is a feature added in C# 3.0? Okay. Well, have a look here. I have a small question. How to expose the values of a class? Values of a class. Values of a class means that is field values outside of a class. How to expose the values of a class, that is field values outside of a class. This can be done in 4 different ways. This can be done in 4 different ways. Till now I explained you 2 options to you. First one, public fields. You declare public, they're exposed now. Second option, private fields with associated properties. These 2 are done. Are you clear? Third option. Yeah, the 4 options actually. For the first one, that is completely out of use. Means we should not use that, I said you, because what is the problem then? We don't have any control on the values. So is it recommended? Not at all. Not at all recommended option. Okay. Even though this option is available, this is not recommended. Second option that we already saw. The second option we already saw. What is the third option? Indexer. Indexer. This is our 6th member is our array. Till now we completed 5 members, fields, constructors, methods, finalizers, properties. 3 more are there. What are the 3? Indexers, deconstructors, events. We are going to cover both these 2 things now. What is it? Indexers, deconstructors. Now we saw how to expose the values of a class through properties. Now let us understand how to expose the values through indexers. Then I'll tell you when to use properties, when to use indexes. But first, let me explain you what is an indexer and all. Finally, I'll tell you when property should be used and when indexer should be used. Okay. So guys, concept is same. I'm not giving an introduction to the concept again. What is the concept? A set of fields in the class, exposing them outside the class. Clear? I will add a class here. We'll name the class as test employee. Then a public class employee. Public class employee. Now, in this class, I want to declare the attributes of an employee. Okay, have a look, guys. What are the attributes? ID, name, job, salary, status. All are private. Nothing is accessible out of the class. Do one thing. Define a constructor and initialize the attributes. Define a constructor and initialize the attributes. Don't forget, again, I'm telling you, going forward, I will initialize all these attributes by loading the values from database. Are you clear? But still, we don't know about database communication. For the time being, I'm assigning static values only. Scott, manager, 5,000 true. But going forward, based on this ID, we'll take the values from the database. Whatever ID you pass, the corresponding name, the corresponding job, the corresponding salary, the corresponding status will come. Is it clear? Okay. Same story, guys. Just like the customer example only, I'm demonstrating this also. But their entity is customer, your entity is employee. Next. Create the instance. Employee EMP is equals to new employee 1001. Okay. Created a instance. Yeah, look, man. You created an instance. Which class? Employee class. Where you created? But even though you create when you create the instance, all these fields are initialized or not? Yes. Constructor is called, all are initialized. But are they accessible to me? No. Why? All are private. All are private. So they're not accessible to you. See that EMP dot. Nothing in the list. What is coming is only the 4 methods equals garage code, get type, toString. Same problem I shown you last class with customer also. And then we discussed, I want to access them from here. To access them, what we done? We went made public first. And we saw the drawback. Second, change it to private, defined property. And we understood the advantage of it. Correct? Now, here also, can I follow the same rule now? What's it? Define 5 properties and expose the values or not? Come on. Yeah, we can do. And we already tested that again. Same way we don't want to do again now. We can do. But already the same thing we tested in the previous examples. 2 examples we tested the same now. Correct? I want to export these values not by public fields, not by properties. Clearer or not? The third way of exposing the values is with the help of indexes. What is that? Indexer. This is a member of a class. Member of a class. When defined under a class, okay, under a class, our class starts behaving like a virtual array. So guys, understand, this is a member of a class. When defined under a class, that class starts behaving like a virtual array. What is meant by virtual array? Means it is not an array, but it behaves like an array. I repeat, guys, it is not an array, but behaves like an array. What do you mean by that? What I mean is, look, guys. Console.writeLine. See, if EMP is an array, it's not an array. If EMP is an array, how do you pick the values of it? EMP of 0, EMP of 1, EMP of 2, EMP of 3, EMP of 4. That is how we pick the values now. Correct or not? But is EMP an array? No. Because EMP is not an array, if I say EMP of 0, it's an error. It's an error. What is the error? Array, you cannot apply indexing with square braces on employee. Why? Employee is not a array. Employee is not a array. But if employee is an array, can I use this? Come on, tell me. If employee is an array, can I do this or not? Possible not? Now read this description again. Did you understand or not? Your class is not an array. But if you define a indexer in the class, your class starts behaving like a virtual array. Did you catch my point or not? If you want to give the behavior of an array to your class, what you require to do now? You need to define a indexer inside the class. When you define the indexer in the class, this code will work. Right now, error coming. Why? Because the class doesn't contain a indexer. The class doesn't contain a indexer. But let us go define an indexer. Automatically, this code will work now. Okay? Where EMP of 0 should give me access to employee ID. Where EMP of 1 should give me access to name, job, salary, status. This should be name. This should be job. This should be salary. And this should be status. Right now, it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because the class is not defined with a indexer. But once defined an indexer, this code will work. Are you guys clearer or not? See guys, I'm not going to make any changes in the test employee, but today test employee is giving error. But tomorrow, I will tell you how to define a indexer in employee. When I define an indexer in employee, immediately this code will run now. Are you getting me? What is the meaning of virtual? Virtual in the sense, it is not that, but looks like that. See, understand? Virtual array means it's not an array, but looks like a array. Are you getting my point or not? It's what we call as a virtual array. It's not an array, but behaves like a array. So that is what we are going to do in next session. I'll tell you how to define a indexer and make this code to work. Is it clear? Let's stop here. We'll see tomorrow.